I'm here today with Silver to talk about what switching feels like from an alter's perspective. She's co-con right now, hanging out right here, and might pop in time to time to give her opinion as I go throughout making this video. Videoing is odd when we're kind of co-conscious and blurry like this. I think the first thing to understand when we're talking about switching and what it feels like for us is to understand that not all switches are made equal. Some are rather short, while some can take hours to fully transition from one alter to another, and each type of switch has a different feeling for us. Many times during a switch, there often is a blurry period in the middle between one alter and fronting and another alter fronting. So we'll go from one alter fronting to a blurry period and then to the other alter fronting. Sometimes switches don't result in 100% one alter and 0% all the rest of the alters. Oftentimes it's some sliding scale in between. Like right now I'd say I am 80% in the front and Lorianne is hanging out at 20% in the background right now. And this can often be a sliding scale thing. And once it hits like right in the middle, that's when we hit this gross dissociative section. And then from here, a switch would mean flipping these two alters just like this, and as we pass each other, that's when the gross dissociation occurs. And then once it's majorly one alter and minorly another alter, or minorly multiple alters, or maybe minorly no alters, then that's when we say a switch has occurred and has finished. And oftentimes this blurry section in the middle can present itself in multiple different ways. Sometimes we can just be generally dissociated, and when we come out of our dissociative phase, there's another one of us in front than when we went into the dissociative phase. Sometimes we'll almost hit this co-fronting part where both of us are controlling the body, and it's quite odd, and we'll be dissociated in the fact that one alter might be physically controlling what our body is doing, whereas another alter might be controlling our voice. I hope that's editable. I'm sorry if it's not. Okay, you can take that over for a little bit. And sometimes, on the other hand, switching will just be kind of instantaneous. We'll go from one alter to another in a matter of half a second to a couple seconds. This is typically not our normal switch though, because this only really happens in stressful situations or when something needs to immediately happen. On average, I'd say our switches are probably 5 to 10 seconds to a couple minutes. It's very rare that we'll have an hour-long switch, and honestly, those are excruciating as hell. Hour-long switches include giant sections of dissociated, messy, globulous stuff that just kind of leaves all of us feeling bleh by the time it's over. The entire time there's multiple alters are at different levels of fronting, and it's just a mess. It's really disgusting, and it's not something I'd ever want to experience again, even though I know I'll have to. Short switches can often leave us feeling dizzy, if that makes sense. Very much disoriented, almost as if you got launched into a section of your life without knowledge that you were about to be launched. Typically, when we have a little bit longer switches that are kind of in the middle, we can generally get a sense of, okay, we're feeling switchy right now, who is kind of near the front, who do we think might pop in? Or if Ada happens to be around and she can serve as the gatekeeper role, she can possibly put someone into the front, if they so wish to be. I feel like there's a general myth surrounding the idea that switching is this nice, easy thing that just kind of happens and we can roll with it, but oftentimes it can leave us feeling kind of crappy afterwards. Switching is inherently dissociative, and there's really no way to get around that. And the reality is that, yeah, that's just it. And it really is truly on a sliding scale. Sometimes it's nice and good, and it's a couple minute switch, and we come out of it and we feel like, it wasn't that bad. But sometimes it's just really not. And I hope that's helpful for you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I need to go to bed. See you tomorrow.